Technically, I would agree with that statement.
Yeah.
Do you have a setting to turn up at all or no?
Yeah.
Oh, we had a spike right there. Did you do something?
No. But I was actually very low. I was very low. Now I'm much higher. I was very low. I was at 50%.
Think, TK. We are good to go. Good morning, mister.
Does that mean we're on?
Yes.
Is that the signal?
Yes. We're starting right now.
Okay, I'm in.
Happy Father's Day. Good morning.
Happy Father's Day. How are you?
I am floating somewhere between the moon and Mars.
And Mars. Oh, I was going to say the stars, but you're not that far out. Good for you.
Not today.
How was your week, Darryl, since the last time we spoke?
My week was extraordinarily hectic. How was your week?
It was hectic.
Yeah, it was hectic. Good, bad, exciting, fun, interesting. Very interesting.
Okay.
You know, there isn't too much we wouldn't do for this show, is there, TK?
I think the Toronto real estate show is willing to go to any lengths.
Any lengths whatsoever. We
pushed the envelope.
We decided to go so far this time that it is absolutely mind-blowing and insane.
And we were going to document it with a vlog.
Yes. We had big plans, didn't we? We thought we had like a year-long drama docuseries in the can, ready to go.
Yep.
Content for hours.
Probably worthy of Netflix.
Definitely worthy of Netflix. So here, we'll fill you in on a little bit of background information. Just for the good of the show, we decided. See, I've been wondering, right? Like, I know TK really well. He's a friend of mine. Now he's a co-host of the show. We've known each other for a while. We like each other a lot, and you know, we talk to each other about real estate. And I always thought TK is such a great agent, but I really didn't have any proof. So I said, you know what? Because the times are so crazy right now and everybody's having a lot of trouble and the market's all over the place, I said, you know what? Me and TK, we're gonna figure this out. And we're gonna do it live on the air with updates and blogging and vlogging. Mm-hmm. And so we decided that we were gonna buy a house in this crazy market with the help of our good friend and wonderful, hopefully, agent TK.
There you go.
And that's what
we had big plans. I mean, let's lay it out here, right? So it's a Toronto real estate market. We've been in a pandemic. There's price growth that's, unprecedented. We've got all these different circumstances that are leading to people wanting housing more than ever.
Bust.
People are looking for months, Darryl. To buy a house, you got to sell a kidney and another part of your body to be able to get into this market. Yeah, otherwise, you're moving to Barrie.
We're hearing stories of people going month after month, losing bid after bid, and it's just the horror, TK. The horror. Imagine being in a state of flux for month after month, not knowing where you're going to live. But for this show, I said, you know what? There's only one way to really see if TK is the best agent on the planet.
There's only one way to do it.
And what a great test. Like a know-it-all, loudmouth, anxiety-ridden friend to do it with. Isn't that wonderful?
Spill the beans, Darryl.
Oh, my God. So, what was supposed to last a very long time, and what was supposed to take, it was very confusing at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But TK, you outperformed my wildest dreams.
Thank you. You're too kind.
Because what should have
make it clear here. Make it clear. Now I'm confused. Did you buy a place or did you not buy a place?
Well, yeah, we bought a place. We
You
bought
bought
a
a place.
place last night.
Holy smokes.
Last night. And I'll tell
The
you,
midnight deal.
it only lasted the process like not even 2 weeks. Because you know what? You know what I attributed this to?
What was that?
I'd love to attribute it to the fact that like you are so awesome and I am so experienced and knowledgeable and we are just a real estate juggernaut heading towards people at speeds they cannot comprehend.
Yep.
But
Oh no, I was hoping that word wasn't going to come out.
but
Oh.
what happens? So we start with a budget A. And
Yep.
we realize very quickly that budget A may as well have been from 1976 because it didn't get anything.
Let's back up. So Darryl wants to buy a house. Darryl and his family, and they are looking for a new home in Toronto in the 416 area or beyond,
No,
but
anywhere.
it's as close to what they're familiar with as possible. And you're nervous. There's a lot going on. We've been talking about real estate every single week, and people are talking about how hard it is to buy a house. And you thought, oh my gosh, what am I going to do if I want to buy? I really don't want to do this forever, but I also don't want to buy the wrong house.
The wrong house at the wrong price at
That's
the wrong time.
The key,
And it's
right?
and I'm like, okay, first of all, I'm like, okay, to my wife, Kayla, you gotta be ready. This is gonna take forever. We're gonna lose out on 1 million houses. We're gonna be disappointed. It's gonna be a roller coaster ride from hell. And I had her prepped. And it was a roller coaster ride from hell.
It was.
From hell.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as long as I thought it would be because what did we do? We together, the Toronto Real Estate Show hosts, cracked the code.
We cracked the code in under 2 weeks.
Cracked
And
the
Darryl bought a
code.
house, a detached house in the 416, might I
In
say. I won't
the
go into too many details, but
416.
it's quite the house.
It is a nice house with a lot of potential. And
Yes.
and we're very, very, very ecstatic. We have a lot of work to do. But we've been down this road before, TK, and we're going to go down this road again. But
Absolutely.
you know
It's
what's
the way to do
nice? We had somebody holding our hands the whole way who could see through the baloney, who could keep the emotions intact, who could entertain our children with ping pong while we were arguing about how we would fix the washroom one day.
There you go. The skills, right? You have to be multi talented, right, to be able to do this job.
But again, as much as I would like to take credit for being a real estate savant, which is definitely truthful, and
Absolutely.
as much as I would love to say TK is the best fucking agent, and I do think that you were extraordinarily patient and calm, and you were so good at opening doors. It was like you'd never
I
seen
think I shut some
anyone.
lights off for you too, right?
I never seen anybody open this many doors so well and so fast. No,
Yep.
it was good because you know what? Like we were fast and we moved and we pivoted when we needed to pivot and we were working on the software that most agents are too lazy to switch to and even think about.
Mhm.
It was an overall great experience. Like we were not like, we didn't maybe we didn't have time, but like there was no like, oh, fucking TK. Like there was nothing. It was just like you told us what you thought in every situation. You didn't care if we listened or we didn't. You backed us up whenever you needed to. You told us like, so we started with budget A, right? And we went looking and realized budget A is not going to cut the mustard. So what did we do? TK calmed us all down, said, okay, we're going to regroup. We saw some houses. I said, TK, I don't know what we're going to do because this is not going to cut the mustard. And we even convinced ourselves to get ready to make an offer on a house that was way further than we wanted to live in. Did not work out like at all for our family. You know, it was a semi, it was far, it had no yard. It was like totally horrible. And in this environment, we were so nervous to not buy it because it was like, okay. And this is the weird
It was
thing.
too okay.
But this is the weird part about the market, right? It's like, I don't know how a person who does not deal with real estate all day can feel comfortable in this environment at all. This is why it takes so long, right? Because it's like, it's scary. We're looking at houses that like 3 months ago were $400,000 less, right?
Some of them. There's a couple.
Multiple areas that like increased by crazy numbers in a short time.
Yeah.
And you know, we were afraid that if we don't get this house, how much is this house or something worse than it going to be next week? Or how long will it take us to even like a house again? Because we have a lot of boxes to check, and most people must, right? And so I think what happened is we went through the process really quickly. Like we went like from like, okay, budget doesn't work, get more money, figure out what we're going to do, figure out the strategy of how we're going to bid, and boom. But most people, they can't do it that quickly.
Think about a bully offer. Think about, you know, what areas, change the area, go a little bit further, get a little bit less, buy a house that's renovated or buy a house that needs some work.
Yeah, and poor TK, it's like every 2 days it's like, TK, what do you think we should do now? Like, this isn't working. We got to change the whole strategy. Let's change the zone. Let's change the price.
One thing I can tell you for sure is it is 100% completely abnormal human behavior that all buyers experience buying in the last 6 months. Every buyer I've dealt with has been the exact same. There's not one buyer who looked like they're dealing with the market very like cautiously or confidently. And everybody's just doing the same thing. Like, what do I do? How do I get it done? Where should I go? Should I go inside the city, outside the city, renovate, not to renovate? Do I need a pool? Do I not need a pool? Should I get a big lot? Or should I just be okay in a subdivision? Like everything has just been so stressful. And I think that what I dealt with you guys and how I experienced the process with you guys is like identical to every buyer I've worked with in 2021.
Yeah.
Like it's just one of those markets that's what it's doing to people.
And I don't know if I said it on the show the other day. I definitely said it to somebody the other day, but like if you've been doing this for a little while, even like a few weeks, like, and you know, you have an idea of what you want and you have an idea of the price and you have an idea of the area, you exhaust your options in the first week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there are not that many options for anybody. It's impossible. I don't care what price point you're at. Like there's only so many options. So when you know that the store at the corner is only going to have one steak, like how do you determine the strategy to be the one to get the steak? Because you may not be as hungry as the guy who hasn't eaten steak for a week longer than you or a month longer than you, right? Or
exactly.
You might have a gun, right? Like who knows who's coming from where with what, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
that's what it is. Yeah.
It's like, it's so it's
There's
not the price means nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It right? Like I think I said at one point, I said at TK, like price means nothing. It's really like, what do I think the other guy thinks it's worth?
Yeah.
Right? And what can we do to beat it? So this is okay. I started the journey and I thought it will be a benefit to not have an agent working for me. And I'm going to call these agents and I'm going to give them the opportunity to double in the commission, right? And that's going to work to my benefit because they're going to help me get the house.
Yeah.
Nope. Not at all. Listen, I don't know.
How many of them showed up on time?
None. Zero. Oh, no, one. One guy was already there because he had a showing right before. Everybody else was like on the phone, busy. Like I did them a favor to come see the house, you know. These guys with the listings, they're in a powerful position right now because they don't have to do anything. Nothing. Nothing. Right? And on top of it, what you told me that there's like Well, anyways, there's definitely incentive for the listing agent to have a buying agent for whatever reason.
Didn't one
right?
of them walk you through and was like, you just got to make a bully offer. You just got to make a bully offer.
All of them were like, you got to
Oh.
make a bully offer. And I was like, tell me, what do
What
you
have
think
seen?
the
What have
house
you
is
seen?
worth?
Don't worry about what you've seen. How much is your budget? Don't worry about your budget. You need to make a bully offer.
This is the first
just get
house
this
I've ever
property.
looked at. Yeah.
I'll tell you the number to go in at.
Yeah. No, but this is the thing. That's all I wanted was a little bit of insight from a guy who's going to make double with no effort, right? And I couldn't find that guy, which is confusing in its own right, to be honest with you. But fine. I mean, who knows who the person is, and who knows if, I guess, they're sending in like a ringer to see if you're like up to snuff or doing things that are shady. So probably better that I didn't find anybody.
They did have that. I think one of those W5 channels did a little expose back in 2017 on some realtors.
Right. Okay.
And that was a cool, like, not cool, obviously, but it was one of those things that I guess gave people some shock.
Well,
and said, oh boy, I better not disclose anything I'm not supposed to any of these buyers. Who knows who they are?
It renewed some of my faith in humanity, or at least in the version of humanity that is a realtor.
Community.
Yes. Yeah. Which was nice. So I couldn't find anybody. So I said, you know what? I don't know if TK is going to want to do this with us, but let's talk to TK because I don't know anybody that would be better. And TK was like, yeah, fuck yeah. I'll help you with this. So here we are. We got the best agent in the world. We have a budget that we think is super healthy and nowhere. Like, it's useless, the budget, right? Mm-hmm. So here we are. It took 16 minutes to lead up to the secret sauce that we figured out together in this real estate market, right? And I'm not proud, TK. But I'm okay with it. But I'm not proud.
Yeah.
But we had to do what most people do, right?
You pay more than the other buyer.
Well, okay.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Like, I'm happy with what I paid. I definitely paid more.
You got a good deal.
No, TK. I started at one price, and 3 days later, my price went up astronomically, right?
Compared to your original price, it was nowhere near what you should have.
And this is not like Darryl goes and reaches into his pocket and goes, oh, look, there's $250,000. Now I can find something, right? I did what people have bought billboards for, what people have complained about, and people have written articles about, and something that hopefully I can do one day. And I assume something that you're planning on doing one day. We went and we
made an application.
We made an application, and my wife's father said, no problem. I'm there for you. And you know what? Thank God for him, because like most people, we could never have anything close to what we want without that help. Like, impossible, right? Absolutely impossible. So we're very fortunate. I know that not most people have that opportunity, but we were lucky enough to have my wife's father able and willing to help us out. And he loves real estate, and he's always looking around, and he's always moving around, and he likes to look at houses, and he likes design and stuff like that. And you know, he was even, after a few days of looking around, he was like, oh my God, like, it's hard to find a really nice house in a good area for what I used to think was a good budget, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So even he was like,
a couple years ago, it was like, geez.
Well, I mean,
you didn't need much to get a really nice house in Toronto. Now it's a different story.
When I made my 10-year plan a couple of years ago, right? This is before how much price inflation. Like, if we had 30% last year, what did we have the year before?
We were 2019 to 2020, probably single digit, you know.
Okay, but like we're talking 8, like 7, 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there, 2 years in a row, and then a 30. So let's say 7, 8, 9, 10, compounded on top of 7, 8, 9, 10, compounded with 30% in the last couple of years. Like, all my projections went out the window by a landslide, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we were just watching this market running away from us in front of our eyes. And so the strategy, reach into a bank of dad and pay top dollar. Don't fuck around, right? Don't lose the house over $25,000 or $10,000 because you think you're a good negotiator, right? No, but that's just it. So with TK's help, we sat down and we tried to figure out what the hell we thought this house was worth. Well, I mean, what were the last 3 comps, like the increases from one to the next?
Well, I looked at what it was last year, and it was about 200 grand less a year ago.
I mean, if I look at the last 3 comps, I think they all jumped by 100 grand each.
No, there was just different things about each house that was a little bit different.
Sure,
right? So,
but the last 3 sales, you had 1540, 16, 17.
Yeah.
Right? But and you don't know what the next guy's going to do because you don't know if the next guy's got a pile of dough to renovate the whole thing and doesn't give a crap and doesn't plan to ever leave, or he's a flipper, or he's okay with it the way it is and just loves the area and he's been looking for 8 months. Like, you don't know what you're up against, right?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, you guys really, really, really did a good job, and I think that goes a long way. And I do see a lot of the experience that you have, I think, come through, where some people are distrusting, where they feel like, the market's not fair and the sellers are greedy and the agent's lying and there's no way that this is going to go. And then, a month later, they're paying more money for less house, and they say to themselves, well, I should have bought that property. I should have, got that one that got away, or whatever it is, right? So it does take a lot of guts, and I think it takes a lot of experience as well and trust to be able to get it done in under 2 weeks like you guys did. That's not normal.
This is
really
not normal. It was a wonderful combined effort with my wife too. I mean, my wife had to be on board with this whole thing big time, right?
Yeah.
And so TK got to see a different side of me and my wife in action under stress.
Okay. Yeah, it's okay. You guys.
This is how we are. This is how we get it done. We don't wait around. We just we punch each other out. We make the decisions. We duke it out. We come at it from every angle and boom, out the other side.
There was times where I was just like, where is this going? There's a few ideas where I was like, those ideas don't seem like that's going to be the final decision, but you got to go through it. Yeah. You got to just talk it through and see if this is going to work out or not, right? And how everyone's going to feel.
And it's, you know what? It's so unfair because you look at these listings, right? Mm-hmm. And you look at these pictures and you go, oh, wow, look at that. This is amazing. And then you get there and it's like, what the hell's going on? These cabinets are garbage. Everything's hanging off of itself. Smells like a wet dog and cigarettes and oh my God.
I think kitchens are one of the most deceiving photos, right?
Oh my God.
You can sometimes look at a kitchen, it just looks like it's amazing, right? You can see all the cabinetry and it just kind of blurry, but you're like, yeah, that looks so great. And then when you get there, you're like, oh, that's got a lot of wear and tear on it.
Sure. I mean, there was no picture in what we saw of the house we bought online. There was no picture anywhere that showed in the master ensuite no sink and a sink in the bedroom, right?
It's in the walkthrough to the bathroom. It's not in the bedroom.
Which is open without a door.
I wonder what that one sold for that we saw, the stucco one with the Israeli family.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I wonder what that one's. So what we experienced too is we saw a lot of there was a lot of bully offers. You bought yours not because you brought a bully offer, but because someone else did, and we said no way, I don't think so.
Well, but this is interesting because
there was a lot of bully offers.
But we said hi, we're gonna make a bully offer, okay? And she's like, no bully offers.
It didn't go like that. It didn't go like
no. We're waiting for the big time.
Yeah, you have to remember one thing too is we had seen one house in that price range at first. So when you guys say to me, this is the best house ever, I'm skeptical. I'm like, if we go and put a bully offer in after seeing one house, we just looked at houses way cheaper. Yeah. And now we're going into this new price bracket and all of a sudden everything looks a lot nicer. We go and make a bully offer, we overpay. That's my fault. That's something that I didn't do, right? Yeah. So in the beginning when I asked her, I wasn't pushing it. I just said, hey, are you guys going to be taking bully offers before Monday? She said no. That's it. That's all I need to know.
which is fine. And I mean, you definitely at some points were working not against us, but like saving us from us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
By not agreeing with us, or kind of like you said to me, I don't know if you're in a position to be going around making firm offers at that price. Like yesterday, we were looking at, you were about to make an offer on like way less and way shittier, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, TK, just trust me. And he's like, I've been down this road before. I don't trust anybody. I don't give a shit who you are, right? I was like, uh-oh, this guy's going to get himself in trouble, right? That's what you're thinking. Right? Because what do you know?
I'm making sure that, you know,
No,
you
but
don't
you
get
don't
yourself
know.
into trouble.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you don't know what's
Like,
going on.
I'm
in the
not giving you the
background.
money. That's all I know. I'm not the bank, so I'm not loaning you the mortgage. It's not me. So if the bank says it's
Hold
okay,
on.
then it's okay.
But I thought you were giving us the mortgage. Wasn't that part of the deal?
Sorry, man. Deposit's gone.
Oh,
if you're looking at me for the
thought,
mortgage.
yeah, I thought that
Hey?
was. I gotta
I don't
double
think
check
so.
that.
I'm doing mortgages. I'm doing third and fourth mortgages.
Okay, good. We're gonna need 6. Where were we? So hold on a sec. So right. So TK's like, can you slow your roll a little bit? And actually, this is the most interesting point, and this is the best thing that I think you did, because, and this is why you, with your boots on the ground and you doing it every day and you being in residential, helps me, because I think I know everything and I can do anything. And the reality was that at one point you called me and you said, hey, I know that there's, assets there, but like, what about income? Because all the mortgages are based on income, right? And you're self-employed and your father-in-law's self-employed, and like, are you going to be able to like get the mortgage that you're looking for? And I was like, what do you mean? Like, there's plenty here. Don't worry about it. And you're like, no, that's not how it works anymore. Like, I don't think you get it. And I was like, fucking TK doesn't know who he's dealing with over here. Okay. Don't worry about it. But then I was like scared. So I had to make a couple of calls, and everybody confirmed.
Reassurances.
Mike, the mortgage guy from the show, who we've had a couple of times, he said, yeah, TK's spot on, man. Like, he goes, I've dealt with a lot of people who tried to get even small loans and they couldn't get it because they couldn't show the income. Right. Mm-hmm. And that, I mean, that was good because it forced us to get other balls rolling that we were not like even thinking about. Right. Because we thought we were big shots and blah, 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 blah. And that's important. Like that's huge. Right. Because you know what? Mm-hmm. We could have made a big mistake if we didn't make a few calls that day. Now, lucky we made those calls that morning, because I don't think I would have been in a position. So all of a sudden, okay, so TK calls and they're not taking bully offers. And 2 days later, what time was it at?
It was like 8:30, 9 o'clock or something.
I think it was
like
more like 9:30, 10 o'clock.
No, you took till 10 o'clock, 10:30, but it was...
I took till 10:30.
It was before 9 o'clock.
I think I took longer.
You took an hour and a half
10:30
to go over everything, which makes sense. It's okay.
Well, it was scary because all of a sudden, the house that was at the top of the list, right? So, okay, so now we're always just making lists for like every minute of the day. We're like, look at this one. Did you see this one? And my daughter's on the MLS, and she's like real estate agent in training, and she's looking at everything, and she's like, look at this. It's $10 million, Bailey. Like, are you crazy? Stop showing us that stuff. And, oh, look at this. This is great. And we're like, you said you wanted to be near the TTC, and that's up in like Elgin Mills and Bathurst. Like, what are you doing? And everybody's just looking at everything, and we're trying to like figure out what's on the list, what's near the list. And then TK comes out of nowhere and goes, hey, guys, guess what? I'm not here at your disposal every millisecond of the day. Like, pick a few houses and we'll go every few days, and like, calm the fuck down. Now, he didn't say that, but like, that's what he did. And he made us focus by doing that, right? Because we would have seen every house in the world if TK didn't say, hey, guys, 4 or 5, right? And I got it, because TK wasn't saying like, I got a life and I got all this other shit to do. He wasn't saying that. I know that, right? And I was like, hold on a sec. This is crazy. I can't expect TK to go every day to like 8 houses, 9 houses a day. It's crazy. But initially going in, that was the expectation. And I wondered, like, what do other people expect? Mm-hmm. Like, what do people expect of you guys, especially the buying agent? Like, what a horrible job.
In a seller's market, I think, that might be the case. But when things turn and it's a buyer's market, I mean, the buyers are the ones that have, right? It's hard to sell the listings at that point, and you're putting money out, and you're getting calls from people saying, "How come you can't sell my house? What's going on?" Right? But I think your case, your situation was that you had a lot of options, you had a lot of areas, and you maybe needed to see more houses than others. But other people, some of them are laser focused. They're just like, look, I'm looking for this area. I've got a couple different buyers that I'm working with right now who we don't go out very often, but when we do, it's only to one house, and like that's about 50% of the buyers that I work with.
Really?
Right, where they wait because we've already looked at houses. They already know what they want. They can search through photos and tours and all that kind of
but
stuff.
They've been doing it for longer, no? Like, isn't
For
the
sure,
first
100%.
part like you're catching up? I don't know. Like, I felt like I needed to
there's a market education part that needs to happen.
Yeah, and I could not handle the fact that I didn't already understand it. Right? Like, I needed to get it. I needed to figure it out so badly that I just needed to suck in as much info as possible.
Yeah.
While I guess trying to keep all of the brain trust on this side happy, right?
Yeah. I think one big thing that people misunderstand is they think that agents know everything by experience or years in the business or their training or anything. Like, there is no single better way to learn about the real estate market than going out, looking at houses, and making offers.
Yeah.
I don't care what you're doing on a computer. I don't care how long you've been in the business. I don't care how many deals you sold last year, or if you've seen every property that's been for sale in that neighborhood up until that point.
Right.
Today is now today. So you need to see the houses that are available today and going forward. And that's a big part of the search. So when you're a buyer's agent, the big most important part is that you're going out with your agent. So a lot of people do this. They say, a lot of agents do this, or a lot of buyers do this. They say, look, I'm going to go around and look. I'm going to call the listing agent. I'm going to do all these things. Then when I find a house, I'm going to call you and we're going to make an offer. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You and I kind of talked about it in the beginning, and I told you that I can't do that, and that's not what I'm going to do, and that we're going to see every house together.
Yeah.
Right? And there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
It's not because I want to go out and see more houses. It's not because I think that, you're going to go and talk to some other agent and they're going to tell you to, sign with them. It's because by the time we do get to the point of making an offer, unless I've seen all the houses that you've seen, I'm not going to know what price to pay or what the market's doing or how this compares or is it overpriced or underpriced. There's all those things that need to happen. So when people say, "Oh, my agent's just going to look up the comps. He's just going to make the offer because he's going to make the comps he's going to look at the comps for me, and then I'll put the offer in on." I guarantee you they overpay. I guarantee you they make mistakes. I guarantee you they miss things about the house details, home inspection issues, things across the street, things behind in the backyard, easements, whatever it is that could be on the property that's going to affect its value, because the agent has not seen that property and all the other properties that are in the area along with you. You're going to make a mistake. I guarantee it. I've seen it so many times that I'm 100% sure that it's going to happen.
And even more importantly, you were able to understand what mattered to us, what we didn't like about all the houses that we went to, what we did like about them, right? And you started to kind of get an insight into what we were looking to achieve. So when we went into other houses, you could start throwing in your 2 cents, right? You started thinking, like, where are we going to put the other washroom that they want upstairs, right? And then I think in some cases you also were like we walked into a few houses where we're like, no, Kayla would just go, "This ain't it. We're out." And you were like, "Yep, this isn't it. We're leaving," right?
You guys actually gave me a first in my career.
What's that?
It's the first time a buyer had to have a room for virtual reality. Right? A VR room is not like a theater room in the last 10 years. That's been a big thing. Yes. But a VR room, that's some next level stuff.
That's next level. Not only did we need a VR room, we needed we needed 2 VR rooms. We needed a game room for my son.
Gaming VR.
Which what was the requirement for his game room?
We had a reach test.
We had a reach
specific
test.
Dimension of the size of the room that had to be met.
So
right?
my son who's like 6'2", I
7 foot
think,
17 or
with
something. I
a
don't know what he is. Going on 8
ridiculous
feet.
ridiculous wingspan needed to be able to lunge in VR without
Hmm.
hitting the wall with the controllers. This is the prerequisite,
Yeah.
right?
Well, that's what happens when you're a teenager. You come up with
There's some,
things that you need that are very specific.
but you don't realize what boxes you're going to need to check. And then I needed
Yeah.
for my business and entertainment, pleasure, um,
Yeah.
a big
But you've
space
got
for
a
VR
virtual
too.
reality real estate business, and that's important. And this is
Yes,
right. It's part of it.
it's part of it. So
Yeah.
it's
You don't talk about it much on the show.
no, not at all actually. But
Yeah.
I need a place to practice and work on my products in virtual reality. So
Yeah.
that was a huge actual prerequisite for us. On top of needing like my home office and kitchen and a nice, like, we had a lot of stuff. My daughter needs her own washroom because my son is a boy and gross, and like, we just we have needs, TK. We have needs. So hold on a
You have
second.
needs.
So hold on. We're gonna
Okay,
get
where are we
through the
at?
story by the end of the episode. I promise. So
Okay.
can we make a bully offer? No, you cannot make a bully offer. 2 days later, which is yesterday, which in my brain was at 9:30, quarter to 10. In TK's,
We did a
TK's brain
second
was
visit though.
we
We did a
went
second visit.
yesterday. We took a second
Yeah.
visit because it was at the top of the list. We had to check out. We never looked at the garage the first, because you're on the move, right? You're looking quick, and you got a certain amount of time before there's the next people that are scheduled to come in, and you got to get to the next house, and
Yeah.
life and business and like a lot of stuff going on. So we missed the garage the first time. There was just a bunch of stuff we needed to check. We needed to see if some of the ideas we thought of that would work. I don't think we took any measurements, but we just needed to double check things, see if cabinets had like self closers, we just needed to like know what we were up against, right? So we went back again, and last night I'm watching the baseball game. Bastards. I'm watching the baseball game. I'm doing some work, trying to catch up, and I get a text from my buddy TK. And it's like, first of all, the text previous to it, if I remember correctly, and maybe it was a little earlier,
We had a
but
phone call.
no, but you sent me a text about what we thought. We were going to see it tomorrow. Today? What day is today? We're going to see it
Saturday.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
We loved it. It was like a crazy, big, deep lot with a pool on a forest. And we were like, there's no way we're ever going to be able to afford it, but we want to see it. And we think it's like one of our top two, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And TK, so they were asking 1.8 million. And TK goes, hey, guess what? That house just sold for 2.13 million. Okay, no big deal. Fine. We still have the other one, right? And then I'm sticking a quarter to 10 because it adds to the drama. But it felt like the last second TK's like, hey, guess what? The house you guys want, they're taking a bully offer. And I'm like, what? How am I going to tell my wife? What are we going to, I can't. Do I want to lose this house? First, I'm like, I can't fucking lose this house to a bully offer when I couldn't have my own bully offer. Fuck this shit. I'm going in. I'm going to win this thing. And then I was like, hold on. Do I want to win this thing? Is this the one? What is it worth? What are we going to do? Oh, and we were freaking out, right?
Yeah.
By we, I mean the voices in my head, because I didn't tell anybody yet. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to go tell my wife that we lost the front runner without even making an offer, because we couldn't make a bully offer. I was like, oh, this is hell. Everything just got worse. How could things get worse? So TK was just calm, and he's like, okay, let's do it. Are you ready to make an offer? And I was like, I don't know. We got to talk about it. And so we got off the phone. Me and Kayla were arguing for a while. We didn't know what to do. We have very different opinions on things, and finally, and you said before, people think the agents know, right? And I was like, TK, what's this thing worth? And you're like, I don't know. And I didn't know, and we had an idea together that I think was in line. Like both our ideas were in line, a bottom and a
We knew
and a
what
top.
it wasn't worth. We knew we can't go over this price. and we're like, we know it's not worth less than this, but that's really all you can do,
Right.
right? It was like, there's no way that they're going to sell it for less than this, and and it was like, there's no way we would pay more than that, and that's kind of like where we set our range.
That's where we set our range. But then it was
Yeah.
like, where do we start in our range? Are we going to get
Yeah.
another chance? Where are they? Like, who are they? What, right? Like, it just, and even with that first house, that crappy little semi up in Elgin Mills in Bathurst that wasn't good for us, that we didn't even like, that we were going to make an offer on, that was sitting on the market for 3 weeks, all of a sudden had 2 bully offers. When
No bully
no
offers. It was
bullies, just 2 in
regular
one day.
offers that came in, and then
Like,
yeah.
it was just like, holy cow, no clue what to do. TK, what do you think? This is, and so TK says, and this is where the experience comes in. TK goes, just this, he said, you got to have ice in your veins, decide your top price for this thing, don't screw around, go in with your best offer, and if it doesn't work out, let's walk away.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, because I like to negotiate. That's what I do, right? Like, this is.
You did. I feel like you negotiated.
I did. I got a couple
did.
of little things, but
No, that was
this is
so
not.
that was probably $10,000-$15,000 of things.
It was some nice things.
Yeah, it's 10 or 15,000 of things.
It was some nice things, but
They didn't want to give up those things.
No, and I didn't want to pay the price that we started at. But first it was like, okay, let's go in at this price and maybe we'll get a second chance, right? Maybe we'll be invited back to the second song in the ball.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then we were both kind of like, because the agent was unpredictable, right? Like, there's different agents out there. There's different levels of experience. There's different ethics. There's different morals. There's different values. And so we went from no bully offer to all of a sudden a bully offer. And it was supposed to be that you give it your best shot, right? And that's it. And we didn't know if that was going to turn into, well, you want to come up, or this guy's at this, blah, blah. But, oh, here's another wonderful thing that TK did. This is what I think actually made the difference, okay? Do you know what I'm going to say?
Sure what it is.
Do you know what I'm going to say?
No. I do it all the time, so I'm not really like, to me, nothing stands out. This is all just.
I even forget what I was going to say, but it was huge.
Oh, it's huge.
It was huge. I drew a blank when I took a sip.
Sorry.
What was it that you did? Oh, so TK, while talking to the other agent, which is his job, and I don't know how, and I don't know if this was something that everybody knew or TK found out, but it's integral that he found this out and it became part of the equation, because the sellers were waiting or are waiting for their new house in a new subdivision to be finished.
Condo, I think.
Condo. So something that is under construction that would be nice to have a little bit more time and maybe a little flexibility with that time might count for something, right? Because nobody knows when their condo is going to be finished. Nobody knows when their house is going to be finished. Even when the builder tells you it's going to be finished, he can send you a letter saying it's going to be delayed. So wouldn't it be nice to know this info and also to be able to be flexible, right? And that, I think, as part of the mix, because an offer has many components, right? It's not only price. So the fact that we were able to give them a long closing, which definitely works to our benefit as well, and the fact that we were willing to give them, which I think was your idea, an option to even extend the closing if need be, which worked for us, which is part of the equation too, because that doesn't work for everybody. I think that sealed the deal.
It makes it attractive, right? I mean, I think a lot of people think everyone's greedy and they want money and that's the only thing that matters, right? It's definitely a big part of it, but to let people feel at ease and let them know that this is going to be convenient and that they're not going to be put under a lot of stress and pressure goes a long way. And when you can do that, it not only gives you a better chance of winning the offer, but it makes them want to work with you. So then we were able to get other things, right? Brand new air conditioner that was on a rental contract bought out. Those are
Oh, I
usually
didn't even count that. That's how you
those are
got so
usually
high.
like
Yeah.
to buy that out is usually like I don't even know 6 to 8 thousand. Like it's pretty
I don't
ridiculous
know.
to
And
buy
it's
them
a
out.
new air
Yeah,
conditioner too.
yeah, it's brand new. Then you got like a nice cast iron patio set. Like you're
Too.
talking about thousands of dollars in three,
That,
right? The couch, the thing. So thousands of
yeah,
dollars in
that's
patio furniture.
expensive. Yeah, that's nice
Um,
stuff. It was nice stuff too.
yeah.
And we got the pool table.
Oh, and the pool table and the ping pong table, right? So again, that's you're talking like almost $15,000 worth of extras because they feel like, you know what, this is great for us because we can have more time and we don't have to move twice or feel pressure. Especially when they're older. They were an older couple and they've been there for a while, I'm sure. So, you know, it's one of those things that you take the pressure off.
And it was great. And you know what? Like, so we there wasn't much time when we sent the offer. Like we only had
No
a
time. I would say
hour,
no time.
50
Yeah.
minutes for that
The
to
other
like
offer was
hear
good till
back,
midnight.
right?
That's what the time we had till.
And so we had 50 minutes to just sit around and wait and like try not to call TK. And it was like, what was it like? 8? It was like
11:59.
no, but it was like 8 minutes to midnight. And then I finally cracked and I was like, TK, what the fuck's going on, man?
Yeah. We got the confirmation of acceptance at 8:11. Like at
I
the
think
time.
it was actually after midnight, but who cares?
You probably have a fast watch,
I probably have a fast watch.
but it was 11:59 on the Apple phone that I have, which I
Was it
assume is
really?
accurate time. Yeah.
Why do people gotta wait
Probably has
till
an
the
iPhone too.
last
Agents, eh?
millisecond? Like crazy.
Agents.
What the hell are
They
you
got
doing?
iPhones.
So that is not even the condensed version. I mean, we thought thing was going to go on for months and years, and we'd have like this Emmy award-winning series.
Blog series that would have been just perfect for Netflix or something like that.
Yeah, and like,
maybe release it on YouTube.
I guess
YouTube
it wasn't that
Studio,
great.
Red Studio, whatever it is.
It wasn't that great.
Red.
But fuck, man. You know what? And thank God it only took 2 weeks because I don't know. I couldn't live like this for longer. Like this was
There's
a lot
time
of
where
pressure.
there's a time you told me where you said, you know what, I think this is going to take a really long time and that we might have to give up on our search and that we might have to start again. I think you went through every
Everything.
single stage in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. But
You
hold
did
on.
it.
Throw in the mix on
awesome.
Throw in the mix on top of it. We were like, well, we'll just rent that. Right?
Yeah,
And so
you had it all.
But you know what's fucked? Everybody. You know what is fucked out there? Audience, which if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, hit the like button.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Make a comment. Let us know what you think about this whole craziness. And guys, why is it always the same 4 of you? We love all 4 of you. Thank you so much. But like somebody else say something. We want to hear what you have to say. You're important to us.
Drop a comment.
Right? So what was I saying? What the hell was I talking about?
I don't know how crazy all the emotions was and you went through the roller coaster in 2 weeks.
Rental market is even tighter than the housing purchase market. If you want to rent a nice house in the city, first of all, the price is insane per month. Second of all, there's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's something nice, chances are the people before smelt a little funny. It's true. It's true. So like you are damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And if you don't act fast, your purchasing power is eroding daily. Not only with the stress test, not only with inflation, but people are crazy and there is nothing to choose from.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. Would you like this piece of steak or nothing?
But if you wanted to see like anything more expensive, we should have showed you the same house a few weeks later.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. Put in the comments below, if you are still watching, how much more you think this house will be by the time I move into it in 4 months from now. Okay?
Easy 100 grand. Now, I'll give you some anecdotal stuff here. So I listed a property last week in Newmarket. And we had to take it off the market on day 2 because they had a death in the family. So we immediately suspended it. We had 7 showings booked in the first 2 days on the market. And they were all pretty much booked for the weekend. I think maybe one guy went in. So then suspended it, said, okay, forget it. We'll wait till the funeral's done. Funeral happened this week. We put it up again on Thursday. Same day, the next week. Same house, same photos, same price, week-long offer date. No real changes whatsoever. Okay? and I had over 20 showings booked in the first 24 hours.
It's insane. It's
So
insane.
there's a significant amount more buyers out this week in some of the areas that I've been looking in. I'm not going to say this is everywhere, but in the areas that I've been looking in and the areas that I'm working, I can't know every area. There's definitely a lot more traffic out there. And I think um, opening up has allowed people to really go out there and want to be looking at real estate. The stress test has obviously put some people back off the sidelines and maybe accelerated their search because they could have a pre-approval, however that's going to work out for them. There's a lot of speculation on why people would be starting to look a little bit more or increase the search. But overall, I think people are just still looking for real estate. There's still some serious buyers out there who want to buy, who want to get into a house, who want to be able to make that dream work. And I think also the summertime too puts a lot of stress on people where they just want it to be over with. They don't want to be doing this in July and August. So they're like, it's June. I'm going to get it done. This is my last chance. And I'm going to find the house of my dreams. And I think that that's playing a part as well.
I would be like, so the only thing that I could see if I was really looking for a house and I wanted a house, like the only thing I could see that would be slowing me down right now would be the news and the headlines that are saying like a slowdown and like cooling and
agents
like
calling for cooling.
like
I mean, I'm seeing that. I'm seeing examples of places.
but
Staying up.
cooling is
But
like
this is
24 degrees instead of 25 degrees is what they're considering cooling.
but this is also what I found, and I actually found this today in a team meeting. I have no idea what the reality of this particular property is, but one person was saying, I don't know why I'm not getting the activity I thought I should get on this listing. And then a group of people were saying, yeah, it's priced so well. And then another person was saying, no, it's overpriced. And so, like, I don't know what the answer is to that because I didn't look into it. But all I'm saying is that sometimes, pricing has been so inconsistent and irregular that when people say, oh, I'm just not getting any showings on my listings anymore. Well, maybe you are priced at maybe closer to value. Maybe you're priced too high. I don't know. But maybe that's why. And that buyers are still in that mode of it's going to sell for 200 grand over. So if my budget's 1.1, I'm not going to go and look at something listed at 1.1 because it's going to end up selling for more. And that's something that agents have to understand.
That's what we did.
You got to play the game.
You
got to play the game. You can't be out there saying, well, it's worth it and people will see the value and I'm not going to, do the price it low because I think that I, am going to be able to get people to come in and, maybe you can, maybe you can't. But at the end of the day, you got to go with, I don't set the rules of the market. Like I am 100% aware that the market's more powerful than me and that I don't try to control it or try to manipulate it. I look at what's going on. I see how other people are pricing. I see what's being successful, what's not. I go with that.
Yeah,
I don't try to infuse TK into every single listing that I sell.
But now
to try to dictate the market.
Sure, but now it was like you would see one house was a low price, held back offers, and got like way past what they asked for, and then you'll see another house with the same strategy, and next thing you know, it's terminated and it comes back out at a higher price. So you're
how do you know they didn't get the same offer as those other guys? Because a lot of those that we were seeing, remember, there was a few that they came out. So here's another thing too, just so you know. So people would come out at the right price. This is happening right now, I think more than ever. They come out at the right price, or they come out with a price that they feel is right, but it's probably a little bit too high still. Then they go, okay, that's not working, and the agent's like, well, you got to price it low now. You only get one shot to price it low. If you're going to price it low, you have to do it the first time you come out on the market. Don't try to do it again afterwards. It rarely works out. So then they try to price it low, and then me and you see it, and we're like, oh, that's a great deal. It's in our budget. And then I check the history, and I'm like, they were just listed for a month and a half at X.
300,000 more.
300 grand more, like silly. So then I said, okay, well, let's not even go look at it. And then I'm talking to the agent or whatever, and they're like, okay, we're coming back out. We're not going to sell. Okay, now we're back for sale. Oh, the seller. Remember that one agent? She's like, tell me what your clients are pre-approved for, and let me know what they're willing to pay before I even come and see it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what are you talking about? Like, what planet are you on?
But you know what planet she's on?
What?
Something just fell apart with somebody that wasn't pre-approved.
I don't know what planet she was on, but she said, I think that was the agent who said it was coming off the market and it wasn't for sale. And the next day she texted me to say it's back on the market now.
It's like you can't figure out anything, and then there's humans
The
involved.
best, exactly.
Bunch
Humans
of
are involved. So
monkeys.
what, as an experienced agent, what you learn is you learn to keep your mouth shut for a little while and let people go through things. And so sometimes your seller might say, "That's it. I'm not going to sell. My house is not worth it. What I thought. I'm never going to move." And let them sleep on it. Like, talk to them tomorrow. If someone calls you, you just tell them the truth and say, "You know what? It's, offer night tonight. This is what happened. We still got lots of people interested. I'm not sure what we're going to do. I'll let you know tomorrow." And then you can talk to them tomorrow and see where your seller's at. But
I
the
think
worst thing an agent can do is dive in or join in with the buyer on that emotional roller coaster. That's not going
right.
to help the situation.
No, and I think a lot of the agents are not experienced enough or not strong enough to not listen to their client.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If like most people don't know. Even the people that are supposed to know don't know. So like you can't think you know better. Even if you
Yeah.
think you know better, you can't think you know better.
It
right?
shows that you don't. Yeah.
No, but it has to be like a good collective effort where you what's the right word? Like you have to weight the different parties' experience, right? So like in a case where you're dealing with someone who has zero real estate experience, like your weight in the conversation should be astronomically more than theirs, and they should just be fine with that, right? But the reality is like the seller's like, I want 1599 and that's what I think, and this guy got this and blah blah blah, and a lot of agents will go, okay, list it to whatever the hell you guys say, right? List the last. Right? Just get the listing. And a lot of people will go, no, a lot of people will be like, if you can get me 1.6, I'll sell. Right? And so they like list it at whatever. And it's like,
Yeah.
now,
Okay. Yeah. Let's do it.
well, let's try. And
let's
so
see
what
what the buyers
happens
say.
is all these fucking buyers who are desperate and like fucking angry and like I'm just sick and tired of this shit are going to a house that's not even an option. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And some of them are getting fucking frothy and excited over it. And it's like, this is our house. This is the dream. This is the one we've been waiting for the whole time. And it's like, we're going to go in like way over asking and beat out everybody. And it's like, off the market. Comes back on tomorrow at 150,000 more than like what you thought was the best number in the world. And that's how I'm seeing it. They're terminated all over the place and at higher prices, or vice versa. High price terminated and then at some stupid low price.
Yeah.
And like, who doesn't look at that? I guess, you know what, with a bad agent and without, knowing about some of the websites out there, we would have gone to look at houses like that we shouldn't be looking at, like the one you were just talking about, right? I didn't look at it. I was like,
Or that Ravine one, if we ended up seeing that one, that ended up selling for 2.13 million.
But
I wouldn't have guessed that. I wouldn't have told you that. I would have said close to 2 million, right? I would have said, oh wow, this could go up close to 2 million, but 2.13. Somebody, it was number 88. That's why.
that's probably one of the
88
reasons.
is a lucky
for
number,
sure.
and the Chinese they go
Sure.
crazy for that. No.
So what a roller coaster, what a ride. But the Toronto real estate show prevailed and beat the system. We beat this bitch down. We killed it. We killed it. And not only did we kill it, like we didn't just buy like a piece of garbage.
Yeah. Got the best house that we actually stepped into. There was no better houses. And we got it for a great price. And it's the dream home. And it's the area by far is the best area.
Beautiful area. So amazing. So once again, Mr. TK, thank you, sir. Appreciate all of your help. Thank you.
Congrats.
It was a good time. I'm glad we're still friends at the end. It's wonderful. You never know.
Absolutely.
You never know.
You got
these
5
kind
months
of situations.
to go. You might fire me between now and then. Yeah.
What? You're making me money in the next while I'm sitting here waiting to close, I'm making money. Guaranteed.
Yeah, exactly.
Guaranteed.
So this has been a great Father's Day show. I'm really happy to spend Father's Day with you, my friend.
Yes. Even though all the dates and times don't pan out. Happy Father's Day.
We were saying a few things that were not Sunday related, but happy Father's Day. And
enjoy your golf game.
Go play some golf.
Yeah, have fun. And we'll
3 generations of TKs.
A lot of little TKs running around that golf course.